What's up, guys? It's McNulty here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you guys are ready for the Owl Tower. So the newest tower that we've got 25 levels on the normal, and we've got 25 levels on the impossible. And to go alongside with those new levels of the tower, we have got some brand new heroes. In fact, we've got a whole lot of heroes. I think we've got 7 brand new heroes in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 4-star, 3-star, 2 3-stars. So yeah, 7 new heroes in here. So it looks like they've just gone ahead and released pretty much everything that they've been working on for this tower. It feels like they're throwing everything and the kitchen sink at trying to get us to pull as hard as possible during December. Maybe they're targeted for some kind of Christmas bonus in the SG office. Who knows? But we're going to have a look at these new Owl heroes. So they do come with an interesting new mechanic, and they are definitely designed to be paired up, from what I can see, with heroes from the Goblins family that have just been released recently as well. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start with this guy, Timius. Okay, so these owls are quite cutesy looking, but yeah, they are some seriously powerful heroes. So yeah, we'll break them down one by one, but you're gonna see what I mean in just a moment. So let's start off with the class. So he is a fighter, this guy, and we do like that because he gets the chance to revive as well. So the Owl family heroes do get a bonus. The bonus starts from 1 hero and goes up to 3 heroes, and all received mana status ailments get replaced by either 11, 31, or 39% mana generation buff for 3 turns. So you can't cast any sort of mana status ailments on these heroes where they reduce mana generation. It's just going to be flipped around and replaced by an increased mana generation buff. Which is an extremely good family bonus. It kind of goes without saying, but it's a really good family bonus. Now, in terms of stats for Timius, we're looking at 1,005 on attack, 994 defense, and 1643 on health. So for a team power of 985. So I don't think it's going to be very long before we're going to be seeing a max 1,000 plus team power. Probably come January or February, that will be when we sort of break that limit. And I think we're seriously going to need to do something about catching up the other heroes to that same sort of level. Now with the max power preview, I mean, you can see there just over 1,300 on the attack and defense, and nearly 2,200 on the health. And Timius gets the dodge ether talent, so not one of the best ether talents, but you know, that aside, the class bonus and the family bonus are fantastic. There is no passives for these heroes, but you know, there's always time for that. So let's have a look at this guy's special. So his special is for Queen and Hollow. So you can see he's one of the soldier owls. You can see he's got his shield and his sword there. And Timius is running at fast speed. Now at fast speed, he will dispel buffs from the target and nearby enemies. So a priority dispel to 3. He then attacks the target and nearby enemies with Moonrise Strike. Okay, so we're going to see this a lot with these heroes. Moonrise Strike is their sort of attack. So it says he deals up to 1,500 damage and deals 40% more damage if the target is holy. They have some kind of hatred for holy heroes, these owl heroes, as you'll see the more we go along. And I was very confused by the way this special worked initially, but I think I've got a better idea or better understanding of it now. Now it says again, the last part of the special, the target and nearby enemies are immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns. So I mean, just to break this down, the dispel to the target and nearby is amazing because it's running at fast speed. It's a priority dispel before the attack happens. And the fact that they're immune to new status effect buffs for 3 turns is also excellent. Now, you might be saying, how does this Moonrise Strike thing work? How much damage do they actually receive? So basically, you can just read the additional info here. So the base damage for this hit is 750. So the way I understand it is that again, it says the damage scales depending on the attacker's attack and the defender's defense. So that means if Timius doesn't have any sort of buffs or anything like that, the damage he deals is going to be 750 damage, not 750%, just 750 damage to the target and nearby enemies. So hits 3 for 750. Now, because the damage scales, if you increase his attack, the damage is going to increase in line with the increase on his attack. And if you increase the enemy's or decrease the enemy's defense, the damage is going to decrease in line with the decrease in defense. Now, that would normally happen if you had a defense down ailment or an attack up buff on your team. But the way these heroes work is that it works in conjunction with the growth and wither effect. So that is the only reason why they've had to word this differently, saying that the damage increases up to 1500 rather than just a straight percentage of damage, because most heroes with a percentage of damage are not affected in the same way by growth and wither. Okay, I hope that kind of makes sense. So basically the way it works is now if you reduce or have a goblin hero that afflicts, say, wither, then the enemy's defense reduces by a certain number of points. Those points are going to be added to Timius's attack. So he's going to hit harder if his attack is a certain amount above his base stat, and he's going to hit harder again if the enemy's defense is a certain amount against their defense lower than their defense stat. Now, that's the way I think it works, and that makes sense to me anyway. But what doesn't sort of make sense to me is how extensively they've actually tested these heroes to see how powerful this effect is going to be when paired up with Goblin's heroes. Now, I've seen a lot of Goblin's heroes appearing on defense teams, and my alliance is usually about top 200, 250 or so sometimes. I think we're 260 at the moment, but we've had a bit of a bad run. So yeah, if I'm seeing them a lot in terms of what I'm raiding, I can only imagine how many Goblins heroes you guys are seeing, especially as well in higher alliances. And when you get one Goblin hero, you normally get a second one as well. So you'll be leveling both up. Then if you get one of these heroes, you're definitely going to be able to benefit from this Moonrise Strike. So yeah, he's probably going to be hitting quite hard. Now, anyway, the point I'm making is I think these heroes could be potentially extremely overpowered, or by the same token, this effect might not be quite as insane as it looks on paper, because 750 damage to the target and nearby is probably about the same as a hero that's hitting for, say, 350 which is still a decent amount of damage, but not quite as hard as you might think. So yeah, basically, you're going to want to sort of disable this hero as quickly as possible. I think counter-attack heroes would be good against these guys. And obviously, you want to be careful that you're not bringing holy heroes. I don't know why they hate holy. But yeah, so what do I think of this guy? I think Timius is probably one of the best owls. I think just because he's at fast speed, he's a hit 3, dispels the buffs up front, and then gives immunity to buffs. So, despite the fact that his special can be pretty complex, it's actually quite straightforward in terms of the way it works. So congrats if you do manage to pull this guy. I think he's an excellent hero. Now, moving on. So we're going to move on quite quickly now. So Fulvia. Fulvia, again, she's going to get the same family bonus. She is of the cleric class, so she gets the mana shield, chance to resist negative mana effects and effects that prevent the use of special skills, and counter attack on the ether talent. Again, an extremely good ether talent counter attack. So yeah, she's got a lot going for her. Now, at base stats, it's huge. 1032 attack, 1011 defense, 1542 on the health. Again, team power of 985. And she looks amazing. She's definitely the queen of the owls, isn't she? And the special sort of confirms that. So the special's Royal Assault. So she's going to attack the target and nearby enemies with Moonrise Strike again, dealing up to 1240 damage. And she deals 40% more damage if the target's holy. Then for 3 turns, she reduces the mana of the target and nearby enemies by 10% at the end of the turn. So that is a mana cut without mana cut minions involved. So it's given to her as a buff, which is extremely annoying and extremely frustrating. And then the target and nearby enemies get negative 50% decrease for any healing received for the following 3 turns. So I think the biggest thing about this special, while she is dealing less damage, so her base damage will be 620. So that's what I would say you should work it off, before she receives any kind of buffs and before your team receives any kind of ailments, reducing their defense. So 620 is manageable. But what's not so manageable is that mana cut by 10% at the end of the turn. So she's doing something very similar to what's that hero now that's causing a ruckus? I can only call her Owlette from PJ Masks. I've definitely done a video on her, but she reduces the mana for every turn after she casts her special, and that's going to be extremely frustrating. So I would say probably a pretty good tank. She might be effective in the flank position, but at average, you might have enough time to sort of deal with her. I think a very good hero, but not quite as good as the blue hero that we looked at first. So, again, congrats if you do pull Fulvia. Again, she's going to hit 3, and the reduction of mana makes her an extremely effective defensive hero. It doesn't work quite as well on offense because you've still got to throw tiles into heroes, and that can recharge them. But then you do have 3 turns where you can pretty much throw tiles into anyone that you want who's got the effect, and they're not going to be fully charged. So I actually think this could be a pretty damn powerful hero. So far, Fulvia is an A+, and Timius is an A+. There's nothing wrong with those heroes whatsoever. In fact, they're super powerful. Now moving on to this guy, Relius. Is he a healer? Looks like a healer. Let's see. So he's of the Druid class. Okay, so he spawns a little minion. Stats-wise, he's quite a bit more defensively built. 947, 1038, 1695. Total team power is 984, so he loses a point on the team power. And he has the regen ether talent, so a really good talent for healers as well. So you can see the stat boosts there as well. So his special skill is mixed green herbs. Sounds yummy. So each fallen ally, he's a reviver. Each fallen ally has 40% chance to get revived with 30% HP. All right, I mean, that's really good considering the fact that he's running at average speed. He also recovers. Okay, so he revives first. Then he recovers 30% health for all allies. And all allies get a Moonrise Ward for 4 turns. That reduces incoming special skill damage by up to 800. Okay, reduces damage by an additional 30% when the attack is holy. Again, don't bring holy heroes against these guys. Just don't do it. Use some other color to attack. So his base damage reduction, you can see there is 400. So for the first time that he's going to fire any special skill, that's for all allies. They get this ward. So any special skill that you cast is going to deal less damage by 400 points, 400 hit points, which is it's quite a bit less damage. I mean, you could potentially have a hero that fires like say Vanda and not be doing any damage at all to the team. So he's a really good hero. I mean, he's running at average speed. He's a great reviver. He's a good healer with a 30% heal. And then this ward just makes him an excellent support hero for the team. So yeah, completely different to the first two heroes in the fact that he's not dealing any damage, but he is able to reduce the damage you take. He's able to revive, and he's able to heal. So he's a total package healer slash reviver, and I think he's going to fit in well. There's definitely going to be a lot more longevity on this hero than probably some of the others, because damage dealers do tend to go out of fashion pretty fast. So yeah, a fantastic hero. So congratulations if you do pull Relius, or Timius, or Fulvia. Now I've got to go out and go back in so I can see some of the others. So we've got Fulvia, Relius, Timius, and this guy. Okay, so Ommudus. Okay, so one of my alliance members has pulled Ommudus actually. So we've got to have a look at this one because I know I'm going to be getting some practice battles against this guy. So if we're following through the theme, then he should get he's getting the Moonrise Strike, not the Moonrise Ward. All right, let's see. Pole Axe of the Law. All right, same passive, same family bonus. We're not going to go over all of that again for the sake of time. Defensively built, pretty decent. So the special, let's go straight to that. So Pole Axe of the Law, he's running at slow speed. Yeah, sometimes slow speed heroes can be cool. He's not of the right class though. The barbarian class isn't the greatest, especially for slow speed heroes, and his ether talent as well isn't the greatest. So let's see what he does. So he destroys all fiends from all allies. Kind of niche at the moment still. He attacks all enemies with a Moonrise Strike, dealing up to 1700 damage, and again 40% more damage if the target is holy. All allies get 5% mana for each destroyed fiend. Yeah. I'm just gonna say it. I'm not a fan of this guy. I don't know where he fits in. I mean, his base damage is going to be 850. That's probably equivalent to somebody who deals 400% damage to all. It's probably less than somebody who deals 400 to all, actually. Maybe like 330. I'm just thinking somebody like Khufu with the high, second limit breaks. He's going to be doing about 1,000 damage to all at the base. This one's going to be doing 850. So without any sort of attack buffs. I mean, of course, if you put attack buffs on him, or if you have goblin heroes that increase by growth, then of course Ommudus is just going to wreck an entire team with a much higher percentage of damage. But as he is, and I'm going to be looking at these heroes in a vacuum because that really is the best way to look at them. Synergies are only created once you're building your teams, and then you can decide which heroes fit best with each other. Oh man, he's disappeared. Okay, so the damage is okay. The destroying all fiends from all allies is again okay, but not great. And the mana boost per fiend destroyed is really only going to factor in, when you've got multiple fiends. So I mean, if you're facing somebody like LaSalle, and he's gone off like a couple of times and they replicated fiends, but the mana boost doesn't help you as much as a heal would. So somebody like Arco is going to be just so much better, where he's converting the fiends and he's healing per fiend that's converted into a minion, or boosted health per fiend. That is much more effective than the 5% mana. I mean, it works for Grimble in Minion Wars because there's loads of minions all over the place, but we don't have Fiend Wars, and this hero's running at slow speed. So yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of Ommudus. Just saying. So I'm going to end this video here because I do have like a bit of a time cap on these videos. I will come back and I will do Olbeck and Featherino and Paella in the next video. So watch out for that one. And if you finish this one, it should be below this one, but I'll see if I can put the link to the description in the comments below. So please do comment. Let me know what you guys think of these new owl heroes. Personally, and in a vacuum, I do think they're incredible, but I don't think that they're as overpowered as they at first glance might seem. So that is pretty much all I've got to say for the 5-star heroes. Please do let me know what you think of them in the comments below. Drop me a like and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any future videos. And I'll see you all again in the next video. Bye for now, guys.